Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Zohar, our energy encounter with the portion of the Zohar for the portion of the week. This week's portion is Vaetchanan, and we're in our edition of the Zohar. It's volume 22, and we're going to be at verse 150. Before we begin, let's anchor our consciousness in what we're doing, and that is ultimately we're connecting to the flawless universe through the verses of the Zohar, through the teachings of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And so we have the opportunity to channel in blessings. And let's start with channeling the blessings of healing. So I have my healing list I'm going through, and I'm sending everyone on that list the energy of healing. And I encourage you all to do the same, whoever you know who needs healing. Just picture them, if you know their name and mother's name, even better. And we're just going to send them energy of healing. Let's also send energy of assistance to those souls that we know that are the first 12 months of their leaving the physical realm. We want to send them energy of assistance and comfort on that journey. Wendy Bat Stanford, Yael Bajako. Let's also connect to the energy of Ahavat Chinam, unconditional love, treating everyone with human decency, ending the wars and conflicts in our world. As we speak, it looks like the conflicts are heating up. So we really want to send energy of neutralizing that energy of conflict. We also want to send out energy of protection for those innocents that are in harm's way. Also, energy of protection from evil eye and evil speech, and removal of chaos and negativity from our world. Well, this is the portion of Vaetchanan, and Shabbat is, the energy of Shabbat is starting to creep into our world. It's already, I believe, past midday. So the energy of Shabbat is already starting to infuse our world. And at the same time, yesterday was the holiday of the 9th of Av, which is one of the most negative and energetically powerful days of the year. And so that energy carries into today. So there's certain restrictions that we have yesterday that carry into today. And the question is, well, why would we do that? And the answer is because we have that energy of the destruction of the temple. The temple was still burning on the 10th. So we still have that energy and we still have restrictions. The day yesterday is the paradox between these terribly negative things that have happened on this day historically. And we're also taught that it's the day in which the energy of Messiah reaches our world. And so, how do you reconcile those two things? And as I pointed out, and as our teachers pointed out, as the Rav pointed out, if you see the paradox, you're closer to the truth. And that is the truth. There is a paradox. And we also have a paradox we're in right now, in that the residual energy from the 9th of Av is still infusing our world on the 10th of Av. And at the same time, we have this amazingly powerful energy of Shabbat that's also infusing our world. So we're living in that paradox, and that's okay. The energy of the sadness of the 9th of Av gives us the ability to open up channels for tremendous positivity. And with that, with the energy of Shabbat, we're also doubling down on our connection to the upper realm, the flawless universe, the Garden of Eden. So we have all those things going for us. One of the other paradoxes is we're taught that on the 9th of Av, the Satan, the opponent, is given free reign. Whatever normal protections are there for us are not there. And that's one of the reasons why there's such potential negativity. On the other hand, we have the opportunity to go right to the doorstep of Satan and finish him off. But to do that, we ground ourselves. And that's why we have the restrictions that we do. And with the energy of Shabbat, the playing field is now shifting to favor us. above the Satan. During the week, typically, Satan, the opponent, has the advantage. Our body consciousness has the advantage. On Shabbat, that playing field is tipped in our favor. So as this energy of the residual energy left over from the ninth of Av is still there, and our being very careful about how we engage in the world is still there, we also have this energy of Shabbat, which tips the playing field in our favor in our battle against body consciousness. So what better topic to address than evil inclination? And that's what we'll talk about in verse 150. Tachazeh, Yetzer hara lamahu dome, b'sha'ata de'ate li'iz davga lebarnash, hu kifar zila, ad alin le denura, batar ditchamem, itadar kola kenura. Right, Aaron?
Come and see what the evil inclination is like. When it comes to join man, it is like iron before it is put into the fire. After it is heated, the whole of it again becomes like fire.
What? What is it mean to say when the evil inclination joins man, it is like iron before it is put in the fire? Well, it's a tough metaphor, if you ask me. Um, so what I want to say about that is, what does it mean when, let's start with what does it mean when evil inclination comes to join man? When does that happen? Well,
When
at
we
a
allow
certain point, what's that, Maria?
when we allow lack in our lives, that's when
Yeah,
the
it's a great
ego allows
example.
when we give
Absolutely.
ego. Sorry.
Anytime, that's okay. Anytime we're not fully connecting to our soul, we're letting the evil inclination in. And evil inclination, we're taught, and there are other Zohars on this, like crouches at the door.
Mhm.
So any new beginning, and when is the new beginning for humankind? At birth. The soul comes down here. You can't be born and avoid evil inclination. When you're here, you put on this bodysuit, you have body consciousness. There's a teaching, I think actually I heard this from Michael Berg, that like one of the reasons why a baby's always crying all the time is they can't believe they ended up here with this, with this setup. This is it. This is the setup. I mean, if you're a soul, you don't want evil inclination. Alternatively, if you're a soul, you see evil inclination as an opportunity to rise above. Yes, Roshan.
I can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I have a question about that because we can't, as we are, not saints or angels or whatever, could
Well, yeah, well, some of
higher
us might
be.
be. Some of us might
Well,
be.
we might be, or we might have been, or something like that, right?
Right.
But we can, at least I know I can't, and I'm sure most of us can't keep our consciousness in a pure place for more than a millisecond, like in any given amount of time. So, like a baby doesn't have the ability to restrict yet, you know, but we
Right.
have supposedly,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Yeah. And that's the
So,
thing about kids. I mean, one of the things that our teachers teach us is not till a woman reaches the age of 12 or a boy reaches the age of 13, do they even receive the desire to receive for the sake of sharing. Like they're not sharing. And if you see them sharing, they're just parroting something they've seen. It's not coming from their internal energy. So yeah, first 12 or 13 years of our life, it's all about us. Me, 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 me. And I don't even want to judge that. It's totally natural. It's as human can be.
mhm,
And it's not what our soul came here to do. Our soul came here to rise above that.
right. So we have to stretch our attention a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Roshan, I'm sure you can think of things that maybe you used to be a lot more reactive about that you're not anymore.
I would like to not make a statement quite that complete, you know? I would say I'm working on it. And
Working on. Okay, so you have okay, so but you have awareness about areas in your life where you're reactive. And you have awareness, like I don't want to show up and be reactive in that way. Might be a work situation, might be a family situation, could be a parent, a spouse, a son, or a daughter. I see how reactive I am. I want to be less reactive.
right.
Okay, well, that is major, advancement. Just have the awareness. People don't have that awareness.
Mm.
So that is in large part what our soul has come here to do. Our soul hasn't come here to achieve perfection. Our soul has come here to, we're on a journey to do the work. Be great to achieve perfection, but if someone's here, they're not perfect by definition.
Will we
But
ever achieve will we ever achieve perfection? I thought we
well,
would if we
your soul is perfect. However, there are things that are in the way, and that's what we're here to remove. There are definitely things in the way. We're holding on to stuff. We're dragging around all this extra baggage.
So I have something to share on that note.
Yes, I was
The
about
way
to
I
call on
woke
you,
up.
but I
No,
didn't
no,
have
it's
to.
all good. It's all good. The way I woke up this morning, it was definitely in a state of polarity, right? So,
Yeah, well, that's the energy.
right. And
Yeah,
it was kind of awesome. I mean, it was nice to connect to the 24/7 call to really elevate and, break through and bring the soul forward. It was really cool. But, the waking up was exactly what you talked about with the baby. What am I doing here? Like, really? Like, really, the reality of this world and the reality of the work and the reality of what's in front of me and the reality of what I have to do, right? There was that side. And then there was also, you got to get up and make some stuff happen big time, like get going, like now, let's go, and do the connections and let's lift it. So it was this adult version of, wow, but yeah, like there's work to do. Let's go. Right.
right.
But
Exactly.
yeah. And then obviously the dread of it all dissipates, right? And I realize that that's the surrender. That's the part that needs to surrender and to be
Well,
great.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot that can be said about where we want to direct our thoughts in the first moment of being awake. There's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah, and that
Pers-
part's probably really good.
personally, it's a challenge. It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
You know when it's not a challenge? Anyone? When is it you wake up and it's like not a challenge to get up? You're excited about something. Could be anything. Could be excited about I'm leaving on a trip today, or I'm going to visit with people that I really want to be with, or I'm about to I have a hike planned. I'm skiing down the mountain today. I don't know. So the question is like, those are easy ones, but how do we capture that excitement about the tasks we need to take care of today, the work we need to do? But I want to assure you that your soul looks at it like, you're about to eat an ice cream sundae. For those who like ice cream. I mean, that's the way your soul's looking at it. So to the extent that you wake up and it's like it feels heavy, it is obviously it is heavy, but that's not what your soul's looking at. It's not the way your soul's looking at it. So this illustrates for us the distance between our body consciousness and our soul consciousness. Your soul's excited about everything we're doing here that we are just like, this is what I got to do.
Oh,
And so we want to work on embracing that, because when we embrace it, we embrace the process, when we embrace the tasks, when we embrace the consciousness, when we read the email we didn't want to read, our soul is excited to see that. Another paradox for today.
So what is it comes and goes. I don't have anything. So what is the true meaning about, or the paradox behind using iron as an example in this thing? Iron is, to me, is
okay, so what is the difference between iron outside of the fire and iron inside the fire? It's hard. It's not movable.
Yeah, it's fixed.
It's fixed.
It's not creating
put it in the
pain.
fire. You put it in the fire, it's malleable. We have ability, we can work with this. We can work with this. It's the work we came here to do. So in a deep way, it's like I look at the challenges in my life, like, oh my God, I never signed up for this. You did sign up for this. It's exactly what you signed up for. Oh, that can't be. Well, it is. The more I reject it, the more difficult it becomes, the harder it becomes. When I embrace it, it's like I'm throwing it into the fire. I'm working with it. I'm embracing it. I'm working with it. It's actually helping me elevate. Yes, Aaron.
I was going to say, it's like the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Like, if like you have the fixed mindset, I am this way, things are this way, things are the way they are because they're not changing, right? Versus a growth mindset where you're like, maybe I can change. Or maybe things can change, right? And I think like when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel? I think it's like, it's always the future you're living into. Like, is it going to be a great day or is it going to be a tough day?
It's always going to be a great day. Even when it's tough. Even when it's tough. Like, think about like yesterday, here I am, like, for those of us who are fasting, I mean, that's a big challenge. To spend 25 and at fast for us, there's no water, there's no when people do intermittent fasting, they make that soup of they make soups that those are they do anyhow. Like I was talking to someone about this yesterday, like intermittent fasting, is that the same kind of fast? No, it's not exactly the same kind of fast. Anyhow, is it like a bone soup they make, a marrow soup? I'm not sure. Anyhow, the fast is tough. I mean, what do you mean spiritual work? I'm just dealing with not being able to have a cup of coffee. That's not what it's about. Like, it's about me finding a way to ground myself and think about being present to what's going on, being present to the energy that's there, being present to this energy of loss. I've told the story now a couple of times, but I'm going to share it now, and I may have shared it in a prior class, but there's in Ethiopia, for thousands of years, there was a group known as Beta Israel. They were originally, as we understand it, one of the original tribes of Israel. Bnei Israel, children of Jacob, living in Ethiopia. And they were subject to a lot of isolation and persecution. It was a very rough life for them. And it was getting worse because there was upheaval and turmoil in Ethiopia. And a bunch of different concerned world partners got together and secretly in 84 and 85 created what was known as Operation Moses, and they airlifted roughly 8,000 to Israel. And there's a lot of, sociologically, there were a lot of challenges in them adapting to a new life in the land of Israel. And then they had to stop it because it was leaked to the press and a lot of people got very upset about what was going on. They restarted again in 1992. But anyhow, and large parts of that population of Ethiopian Jews resettled in Israel. When the first groups came, they were giving them tours. They were showing them around Israel. And one of the tribal leaders said to the tour guide, "Where is the Holy Temple?" And the guide replied, "The temple was destroyed 1,000 years ago, the second temple." And they didn't know that. And so they were living a life with the understanding that the temple still stood in Jerusalem. Imagine the disappointment. A 1,000 years. When they were walking with the children through the desert to reach the plains that were going to take them to Israel, they're like, "You got to push forward. We're going to see the temple." By the way, they knew about the first destruction by the Babylonians, but they didn't learn about, they were totally cut off by the Roman era. So they didn't know about that one. I share this because it's just like, it's hard to fathom. It's hard for us to really fathom the pain of what that loss is. But I feel like this story gets us a little bit closer. And it's really hard for us to see our own pain. But seeing that pain is what leads us to the work that it is we're here to do. We avoid that pain. We don't want to embrace the challenges. If you're seeing patterns, it's because the universe is trying to keep reminding you, this is what you need to turn your attention to. This is where you need to pour your energy into. This is the process you need to embrace. Let's continue. Great points, great observations. So 151. Rabbi Chia Amar, Yetzer hara kad ate lizdavga be lebarnash. Dame lebarnash dekariv lepitcha. V'chame dela'it man dechame bidei. Al leveta v'it aved le oreach. Chama dela'it man dimeche bidei. V'yezil le le'arche. Kevan de'ayel leveta v'la'it diyimche bidei. It mena Ale v'itaved mare deveta ad yishachach dechol beta kaem birshute.
Rabbi Chia said, when the evil inclination comes to join man, it is like a man who approaches the gate and sees there is no one at home to detain him.
Okay, so here's a helpful little story to delve in a little further into how the evil inclination wiggles its way into our life. Just want to say that one of the portions that is discussed in this Torah reading, and specifically in the Zohar, is the tool of what we know as mezuzah, the parchment that we affix to the doorpost at our front door and all the rooms in our house, because that's where the openings are in which negativity enters our world. And that tool is there to protect us from that negative energy and negative that we're going to encounter. Here we have, though, a deeper explanation. So the idea is like, what does it mean? What is this? It's like a man who approaches a gate and sees there's no one home to detain him. Okay, then what happens? Go ahead.
It enters the house and becomes a guest, seeing there is no one to prevent it to send it on its way.
This reminds me of various TV shows I watched over the years. But anyhow, that aside, what the Zohar is telling us is that we essentially invite the Yetzer hara, our opponent, in. We're not really aware enough to keep that opponent out in the beginning. So part of what we need to realize is this guy is slipping in under the radar. And we have the ability, we have the power to raise our awareness to stop this in its tracks. And one major takeaway for us in studying this section is to develop greater awareness about when our boundaries, when our force fields are too weak and are not keeping the other side at bay. Let's continue.
Once it entered the house and no one prevents it, it is in charge over the house and becomes the landlord, so that the whole house is at its disposal.
Fascinating. So in this scenario, that house is us in this world. It's our journey. And once we let that evil inclination in, he's like the landlord. He's controlling things. We let the evil inclination control. We hand over the keys to the house and put them in charge. So there are several steps along the way of this process where we can reverse this. None is stronger than when they approach the gate and see no one is at home. We're at home. Who's we? Our soul's at home. We want to be connected to our soul. Our soul will assist us in keeping negativity, body consciousness away. But even once they're in, we can spot it. Even once we realize we're being ruled by it, we can spot it. It's just more difficult to evict at that point. But that's the way to look at it. This is a consciousness that needs to be evicted. It needs to be marginalized. It needs to be removed. And we all have it in various places in our life. So again, for us, giving us the power to acknowledge, to see, and to remove this negativity, to rise above this opponent. 152. Uman olifna mi parshata de David olifna. Makativ le'halech leish he ashir. Helech dekariv lefitcha. V'laba'e li'it akva tamam. Ela lemehach le'arche. Kachu yetzer hara. Kama de mikrev leveta. Mitkarev gabe de barnash. Itar ale bechova ze'er. Dahu orech arai. Chame de late dimche bidei, makativ, lasot le'oreach haba elab, itaved le, oreach, ach senai beveta. Itar ale bechoivo yatir yom achad, o train yomin, kahai oreach, disharyan le beveta, yom achada, o bet yomin, keven dechame, the late man dimche bidei, makativ, v'ya'as le'ish haba elab. Itaved mare deveta, k'madat omer, aish adonai haaretz, ish naami, kachu yetzer hara, itaved lakavle, levarnashish, bal habayit, hai itkashar barnash beful chane, vu aved be ute. Aaron?
Whence do I learn that? I learn it from the passage about David. It is written, and there came a traveler to the rich man.
Okay, so Rabbi Chia is giving us the source from where he learned this. And of course, no surprise, it's in one of our holy writings. It's Shmuel Bet, it's the second book of Shmuel, which takes place, the life of David takes place during that. And there's the verse, and there came a traveler to the rich man. You wouldn't ordinarily look at that line and think that that has anything to do with the evil inclination. And that's why we need Rabbi Chia to unpack that for us. Go ahead.
A traveler means he approaches the gate, yet does not want to stay there, but go on his way. Such as
so it sounds like the traveler in this case is the evil inclination. He's not going to enter that gate if he senses that he's not welcome. We welcome the evil inclination in. Yeah, we do. That's where we're most vulnerable. What's the big deal? I take a puff of this nicotine vape. What's the big deal? It's not addictive. Oh, it's not? Like with anything that ultimately like all things in moderation, but anything that is we do that's self-destructive. Let's continue.
Such is the evil inclination at first, which, like one approaching the house, it approaches man and rouses him to his sin a little, only by coincidence.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I did that. Well, the evil inclination did, and you kind of did. It's like we have a tendency, it's human nature. This is human nature. But this also gives us the ability to rise above that nature. We're not, again, break the mold. We're not stuck like a piece of iron. We have the ability to rise above all this. Let's continue.
When it sees no one prevents it, it is written, to prepare it for the wayfaring man or guest that was come to him. Now he becomes a guest who stays at the house, which means it rouses him to sin more for a day or two, like a guest that is kept at home for a day or two.
It's an outside influence. It's not your soul. You let it in. And so it starts to get comfortable. At first, being careful, watching, just as a guest would, trying to figure out, what are the norms of this little space that I've just entered into. Go ahead.
When it sees no one prevents it, it is written, prepared it for the man that was come to him, because it became the landlord, as it is written. The man who is the Lord of the land, and Naomi's husband, such is the evil inclination, who has
Okay, so wait a second. So there's a reference here to Naomi's husband. We know who Naomi was. That was Ruth's mother-in-law. There was a relationship there that was problematic, and that's what it's referring to, without going into too much detail about that right now. But the point is, at first, the evil inclination shows up like, oh, they're not even so interested. And then, because there's no one standing in the way, they kind of come in and, well, we're not going to stay long. We're just going to sit around. And that, an hour turns into an afternoon, turns into a day, turns into a couple of days, turns into they're now running the shop. Let's continue.
Such as the evil inclination, who has become a man, landlord over that man who was attached to serve it. And the evil inclination does with him as it pleases.
And so at the end of the day, it's like we become a servant to that body consciousness. And we're not going to see that. We're going to justify what goes on. We're going to say it's not that, but that's what's going on. And so one of the opportunities we have here is to just search out the things that are going in our life and try and figure out, where is it that I have let this evil inclination take over? And that's a huge opportunity we have in reading this section and in the energy for this week. Let's read one more. The alda be'e barnash l'shava milin de oraita ale tadir bikin dihe hahu yitzamacheresh tavir bahu delate le mikat regli yetzerara bar mile de oraita be'alda kativ hayu advarim ha'ele v'gomer al lavavecha al trei yitzarecha yetzeratov itatar bahu v'yetzera itkana bahu. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Yetzeratov ma ba'i milei doraita. Amar le Yetzeratov ita tarbahu. V'yetzer hara kevan techame barnash latav. The lab ba'i lishtadla oraita. Kedain hu salek le'ela. V'alif alek chova. Hadu lativ uchsilim merim kolon.
One must therefore constantly place upon oneself words of Torah, so that the evil inclination will be broken by them. For the evil inclination has no greater enemy than words of Torah.
So another major opportunity we have here is just by connecting to these words is we're breaking that evil inclination. We're breaking the hold that it has upon us. We're breaking the essentially, as we read in the last paragraph, the way we've become enslaved to that influence. Well, why is that? How does that work? Because you're connecting to your soul. The more connected to your soul you are, the less influence of body consciousness you have. Let's continue.
Hence it is written, and these words shall be in your heart. Devarim 6:6. Your heart means your two inclinations. Since the good inclination is adorned with them and the evil inclination is subdued by them.
Okay, so this is the first we're hearing about the good inclination. That's your soul. Your soul knows the right thing to do. Your soul knows how to view the challenges in your life. The soul knows how it thinks about when you wake up. When you wake up, your soul's happy. Here we go, another day. Another opportunity to do the work that I came here to do. But we're out of sync with that because our body consciousness, the evil inclination, has sway and influence over us and our perspective. So much of this is like, where is my perspective? What is my mindset? And the more I allow myself, and listen, we're all guilty of this, the more I allow myself to look at any situation as cup half empty, the more control I'm giving to the evil inclination. The more difficult it is for me to rise above it. The more difficult it is for me to do the work that my soul came here to do. Okay, let's continue.
Rabbi Yehuda said, what does the good inclination need words of Torah for?
Yeah, what's that about?
He said to him, the good inclination is adorned with them, and the evil inclination, when it sees that the man does not repent and does not care to study Torah, it rises up and speaks ill of him. This is the meaning of, but fools shall get or raise shame.
Okay, so, yeah, Mishle, thank you. So, yeah. Why does the good inclination need to hear words of Torah? No, it's not a matter of that. When we're connected to words of Torah, we're strengthening our connection to the good inclination, to the Yetzer HaTov. So those are the two influences. Now, again, as I mentioned before, that Yetzer HaTov, that good inclination, doesn't show up till 12 or 13. And it's at a disadvantage. I mean, the evil inclination has had a head start. Some people never mature. Some people never rise above that. Your childhood trauma is still haunting you. I don't know what it is. I'm barely able to figure out my own. But it's there. It's like we need to dig deep. We need to gain a lot more introspection about what's been going on in our life so that we can rise above that. That's what we came here to do. So my inability to acknowledge the challenges that I have, my inability to feel the pain that I have, that maybe from a prior life, maybe from this life, who knows? That's what I came here to spot. That's what I came here to see. Remember, as we've often discussed, the lowest level of the three levels of soul, nefesh, ruach, and neshama, at that nefesh level, I don't know what's going on. It is an awareness, though. It's a soul awareness. I'm going through all these things in my life. I feel totally victimized by everything. I can't get to the next level until I understand that all these challenges that I'm experiencing are there and happening for me. And so this is the battle between the good inclination and the evil inclination, between the soul and body consciousness, between how I approach my life and the opportunities that they're there. We just have to be able to raise our consciousness and see them from the perspective of soul. Okay, everybody, we're out of time. Aaron, thanks for reading with us. I appreciate everybody's contribution and thoughts on this subject. Have a great Shabbat. Love you all.
Bye. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.